My name is Nikki. I am your MC for this evening, and I am so delighted. Thank you all for being here. It's the coldest it's been in New Orleans, and thank you. Yeah, clap for yourselves.
You rock.
You rock. You're amazing. Speaking of amazing, we're going to have an amazing night of poetry and performance, which is why you're here, so let's get rolling. So we're kicking it off with Henry, who's going to do some performance art and poetry, and it's going to be incredible. So everyone be ready, be on your toes, and be ready to be interacted with. Yeah, that's how that's going to go. Henry Goldkamp is an experimental poet and interdisciplinary artist whose work blurs the boundaries between poetry, visual art, and community performance through public installations of intermedia, such as an olfactory poem read through the nose, Summertime 2023, immersive clown utilizing audience participation, Joy Buzzer 2023, a grove of trees in which thousands of poems were hung for passersby to pluck and then mailed to strangers out of the phone book, The Poetry Project 2014, and a citywide installation of 60 plus typewriters, resulting in the first ever book to be composed by a city. What the hell is St. Louis thinking? 2013. By creating such spaces of dialogue and interactive expression, he encourages participants to connect with each other in their shared environment. Give it up for Henry Goldkamp.
Thank you so much. So I'd love to be able to work the room, but all my stupid props are up here, so I'm going to have to ask you to participate and just come to me. Just come to me, okay? So this project's called Joy Buzzer. It riffs off of John Berryman's Henry persona, and I enjoy those poems, and I also kind of hate those poems, and I'm actually Henry. Hi, I'm Henry. And so it starts with the epigraph, just Dream Song 1. Huffy Henry hid the day, unappeasable Henry sulked. I see his point, trying to put things over. It was the thought that they thought they could do it made Henry wicked in a way, but he should have come out and talked. All the world like a woolen lover once did seem on Henry's side. Then came a departure. Thereafter, nothing fell off as it ought or might. I don't see how Henry, pried open for all the world to see, survived. What he has now to say is a long wonder the world can bear and be. Once in a sycamore I was glad all at the top, and I sang, hard on the land, where's the strong sea, and empty grows every bed. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, Henry.
I have no friends. I have no friends.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
That is not one of the poems. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Evolution.
Hi, I'm Henry. We're fucking animals. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hello, Henry. I'm so-called risking poetry.
Did you know this?
Probably not.
That you can light a cigarette and you can put it out in a cup of gasoline. And nothing will happen.
If I don't have eyebrows after this dude,
Hi, I'm Henry.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, question mark. Yes, please. Oh, hello has friends. Yes, please.
All right, hi.
That's right.
I am Astral Astral projection abuse.
Wait, hold on. Hey, not yet. Okay, please. All we have to do is stand in line. Do you guys know the game Telephone? It's very easy. Okay, so you can stand right here. You stand right here. You're the spokesperson. Dom, can you come? Or wait, no, this is sure. What you need?
Oh, I have a script?
No, no peeking. Okay, you ready?
Yes. No, not really.
It goes back to you, and then you announce it in the mic. Okay?
Okay, tell me.
Work with it.
I fought enough. You and I. Stomping. When do we meet? Kill him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Here, you can stay here. You can stay here. I'm literally standing in front of it. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I am Astral projection abuse.
Astral projection abuse. What's your number? Okay,
I
so
don't know.
great. Thank you so much for coming to our first mime class. If you don't mind, just go right there on stage.
Hi.
Okay, we're just gonna work through this. Okay, I want you to pull a really big Bowie knife from your hip. Okay. Test its sharpness for me. Test its sharpness. Okay, I need you to take a weighty package off the table. Take a weighty package off that table for me. Oh wow, not that big, not that big. And then, can you cut a little sliver in the bag? Can you cut a little sliver in the bag? Okay, good. And then can you taste the tip of that knife?
Oh, I already did.
Just taste, but now you
Did
got
again?
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Okay. Might need to go to the emergency room in a second. Okay, and then nod your head in appreciation of the taste. And then maybe scoop a little bit of the bag out on the knife. And then I need you to snort the tip of the knife. Now that's how you snort oxygen. Thank you. Hi, I'm Henry.
I'm a sonnet.
A sonnet. Oh, good. All right. Just play dead for me. Thank you very much. Dead horse, dead horse, dead horse, dead horse, dead horse. Dead horse, dead horse, dead horse, dead horse, dead horse. Dead horse. Dead horsey. Whoa now! Dead horse. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Hi.
I'm a little kid who eats paper.
Oh, a little kid who eats paper. Oh, good. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I can't believe it's not money. It kind of tastes cleaner than money, though. It's like out of a clean taste. I like it better than money. Wait. Oh, you know what it's not as good as, though? Pennies.
Oh my God. Stop.
Yeah, have you ever had pennies?
Don't do this.
Really good. Oh, wow. It tastes so good. You're a really good actor, too. My mouth tastes like electricity and impending death. And I can believe that this is money. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Henry. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi. I can't look at him.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Ars Poetica.
Oh, good. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Toy boat.
Boy tote.
Toy boat.
Boy tote.
toy boat.
Torto.
Toy boat.
Toy tortoise.
Toy boat.
Boy.
Toy fast. Toy boat. Toy boat. Toy boy. 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 Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Brett.
Oh, I've heard poetry is rooted in you. Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay. That is very, very poetic. Thank you. That is very. I feel it's very potent poetry. Thank you. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Kerfuffle.
Hi, Kerfuffle. Great. Drop and give me 20. Do a little dance.
No.
Say something profound.
I have no thoughts.
Start thinking.
That was profound, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm the biggest imagist in the room.
Oh, really? That used to be my nickname, actually. So how are we going to settle this? All right, what about a donkey? So I went. All right, what animal are you really good at? I think you win. Thank you, thanks. Thank you very much. Okay, hi, I'm Henry. Rapid fire.
I'm the performance poet's dilemma.
Paper or plastic?
I have a reusable bag, and it's paper.
So you think I'm ugly?
You can breathe in that though.
So, plastic.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thanks. So not plastic, you don't want to kill me? Thank you.
No,
I appreciate it. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm the artist statement.
Oh, the artist statement. Great. Do you know any good jokes?
When you drop a piano down a mine shaft, what's the key?
I don't know.
A flat minor.
I don't get it. Can you explain it to me?
A flat minor.
Oh.
Right, I heard that part, but can you explain it to me?
When you drop piano down a mine shaft, you're gonna get a flat minor.
Right. And can you just explain the last part?
The minor is flat, which sounds like a flat minor.
That's really, really, really funny. Thank you. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm revisiting the canyon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let us revisit. American Circus. And the Bible. Just hold that for me, please. Sorry, got your shirt roll. One big book. Thank you. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Daniel Harms.
Daniel, my old friend.
Hello.
Shall we play the game that we always love to play
I'd
together?
love to do that.
Okay, good. You know the rules, right?
Obviously.
Right. So we just
it's a drinking game, and we go back and forth, and we just have to say a noun, but if we hesitate or repeat the noun, then we have to drink. Right?
Yes. As always.
As always.
As always.
Would you like to start?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Go ahead. No,
Pumpkin.
Spice.
Latte.
Microphone.
Beer garden.
Earrings. Drink.
Light bulb.
Nose.
Ear.
Eyes.
Name tag.
Ears.
Tie. You repeated it.
I
No?
said earrings. Didn't I?
No.
Drink.
I lost?
Drink.
Bed.
In the script, this can go on for hours, so let's just cut it here. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hey, Henry, I'm globalism. Great. Higher? Higher. Higher. You know, from the right distance, you can't tell the difference between oil refinery and an amusement park. Hi, I'm Henry.
Keep it.
The traditional talent. It's an honor to have you here. To pay my respects, I will recite for you an excerpt from T.S. Eliot's lesser-known poem, Hysteria. As she laughed, I was aware of becoming involved in her laughter and being part of it, until her teeth were only accidental stars with a talent for squad drill. I was drawn in.
I was drawn in by short gasps, inhaled at each momentary recovery, lost finally in the dark caverns of, oh, one sec. Where was I? Yes, please, thanks. Something. Oh. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's better. Thank you. Okay, now, good. All right, there we are. There it is. Bruised by the ripple of unseen... I can't bear to remember the rest. Sorry. All right, thanks. Hi, I'm Henry. I'm decent. It's okay. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Two Truths and a Lie.
Poetry is so cringy. Poetry is so cringy. Poetry is so cringy. Hi, I'm Henry.
I am the shortest elegy on earth.
The shortest elegy on earth. What's your name? No. Come here. Come hither.
The shortest elegy on earth.
What's the name that your loved ones call you? Rachel. Goodbye, Rachel. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hello, I am God.
Look. Look. I'm Henry. Hi, I'm Henry.
Next up, we have the incredible Gabrielle Octavia Rucker. Gabrielle Octavia Rucker is a writer, editor, and teaching artist from the Great Lakes, currently living in the Gulf Coast. She is a 2020 Poetry Project Fellow and a 2016 Cambilio Fiction Fellow, and the founder of the Seminary of Ecstatic Poetics, a non-traditional learning space for the poetically inclined. Her debut poetry collection, Dereliction, 2022, is currently available via the Song Cave. Give it up for Gabrielle.
Hi, thanks for being here. I'm going to be reading from my book and a few other books. I don't really care to know if people are not aligned with at least my emotions or my current feelings about the conflict or really the genocide happening right now in Palestine. But I didn't feel like it was a great moment personally for me to read only my book, because where I've been has been trying to read and be with others through reading, which I think is one of the beauties of reading. So I will read 2 poems from my book. I'll open with one, I'll close with one, and I'll give you more information about what I will be reading. So this is my book, Dereliction. The 1-year anniversary of it was actually yesterday. Thanks. If you don't have it and you would like to get it, you can do so on the Song Cave's website, or you can ask your local library. I hear there's some copies in the New Orleans Public Library. So thanks, librarians. So this is called Reality Check. Everything was for sale, including bad behavior. Anger was consistently lucrative, addictive even. The way one could viciously unwind against another, yet simply think themselves a spectator to violence and pageantry. Everyone was dressed in the latest fashions, hopelessly screeching up and down the block, expecting sympathy from strangers recently abused under dogmas of ego and rebranded religious zeal. I was embarrassed and it failed me. I was made complicit to bad casting and the blue lights mania. I believed lies I was unworthy of love and flourished in arenas sparring for pet names. I was all ambition groomed against my reality and made to suffer harms inflicted to my spirit under which I believed I could survive. This is a book by Henry Dumas called Knees of a Natural Man, the selected poetry, and I'm going to read 2 poems from this. The first is called Kef 12. Take up the blood from the grass, son. Take it up. These people do not thirst for it. Take up the insect children that play in the grass, son. Take them away. These people are sick of them. Take down the long, slender reeds, son. Cut them down. These people cannot make flutes any longer. Now, son, come closer to the earth. Even closer than that. Closer now, son. Take away the shape from the metal, son. They are like stone, these people. Now make them lava. The second is called IKEF number 5, Children Playing. Like small trees we hid in the grass. Straight was the shadow beside. Birds like voices finding us. Calling the wind to stroke our backs. Bending, we know, the brown tongue of this grass. Sharp words tell well. Hurry, they will see us. This next one is from a book called Memory Serves, Oratories, and it's by Lee Maricel. And this is a poem that's in the title essay, which is also called Memory Serves. And this poem is called Remembering Memory. The shrill sounds of an old voice, thick with desperation, Vocal cords stretched tight, squeeze truth, signals the death of peace. Sometimes voice haunts the dense air, sound loss wanders through the body, looks for an exit from the acid scrape of desperation. Truth leaks out through high-pitched throat sounds. My muscles tighten, pull at the lies my skin oozes. The voice of peace muted, memories hold tight, locked to skin cells. Force appropriates courtesy, confines manners to box sounds. My skin peels off, clipped short phrases renouncing war. I'm also going to read 2 poems from this. This is Mizna. Mizna is a journal. It is not just a poetry journal. They also have fiction and essays and art reviews. And this is from the Black Swana Takeover, and I'll be reading some poems from here. They also have a film festival, if I remember correctly. So these are both by Umnia Najar, and they're 2 excerpts. Spinning Zuhitsu Fragment on Ecological and Cosmic Consciousness. When the acid hits. Seagulls hover above the lake where nothing lives. Our birthday boy risked imprisonment, hauling the tabs between hip bone and boxer band from the Kenyan skyline to the pseudo-decrepit place at the end of the world where the shore tongues us, our tiny bodies gnawed by the ancient sand, whose 6-legged and winged gods laid their eggs near the carcass of a fallen seagull before tasting our human blood. 6 mammals rolling on a shore, our species trashed with plastic and aluminum. Our eyes, what planets orbiting impossible scenes. It is difficult now to describe the peach sky turned inside out. Each cloud a portal, a body, a bussy, a supple plea mouthed from the ear of a higher consciousness. In laughter we lose control. We flesh, messengers of the divine, unruly sails set to the sacred syntax of surrender. The elemental knowledge locked inside is not locked in the azan, blows in from a nearby minaret. The first flutes were rocks. Hillside, a home carved in the trunk of a fallen tree, having mapped the genome and traced our mitochondrial mother experts, insist civilization started in these parts. As thirst strikes, lightning, the silent intervals between the imam's syllables grow infinite, and we begin to journey back to the villa we rented for a night, hoping to celebrate our friend's 30-second revolution around the sun by surveying the frontiers of consciousness without being harassed or arrested in a military state where the sight of 10 friends, 7 of us Nubian, gazing into the sky euphoric as children, might offend the sensibility of those set on caging and killing in the name of a God made in the image of a graceless human. All life is sacred. Death is a force of nature, not of humans. Do not kill, disrupt life at any scale. I awake with an ancient itch to touch the sea, to climb into the hem of her eternal skirt and pretend life has not begun. The world does not exist yet. I am transparent. I'm in a transparent waiting room. My soul is made of tiny cells. Before form, the waiting room has no doors, no exterior, no interior. The bells orbit a single unit of sound. We astonish the stars. The stars are conscious that we are overdue. Our species missed the mark. We didn't wake up in time. We are late for a revolution in consciousness. The stars speak telepathically, empathetically. Yes, it is difficult to imagine awakening, to peel ourselves from the waking sleep of the dominant now, to dissolve the field of collective disbelief. Despite intricate human-made systems of suffering, we are ready. The smallest revolutionary unit is the self. We aerate ourselves to oxygenate our collective reserves. We intentionally invigorate everything. Communities, imaginations, critiques, tools, our bodies, our instincts, our emotional intelligence, our capacity to care is revolutionary. We are leaping, we remember, we make it up as we go, we arrive together and in the care of one another. Our imaginations will heal. The flow of collective consciousness will heal. The imaginary world of individuality will cease to exist. We who never were singular will outgrow identifying with flesh-draped bones. The universe is our flesh. Our planet is a musical body. We out here spinning instruments of higher beings. And I've got this one and one more. This is also from another Mizna issue. This is the Atel Adan tribute. And this poem is comprised of, how many? 4 excerpts from Emmett Ezel, Between Every Bird Are Bones. The plum tree in the front of the yard has 3 tender blossoms, pink, poetic, hardly hanging on. In the decimation of spring, the engine of cicadas. My subconscious, a hymnal, erupts in the kitchen, chop chop the cutting board, be thou vision. In their bedroom, my partner sews a pair of overalls. I dig a tunnel of dirt around the flesh of my body, strike the muddy ground so porous and wet. Blossoms become leaves on the Mexican plum tree. Green charade took only a week. The blue jays, the squirrels, the butterfly, the wasp. Hassan sends me a photo of the sunset, rebar and concentrate below. I'm getting married, he says. Emojis over an ocean. The cancer center calls. Good morning, may I speak with a patient? Confirm identity with date of birth and patient record number. This great shedding of my life into digits. The insurance we have on file is expired, she says. Do you have a new insurance plan? I gulp a pigeon. You have the option to become a self-paying patient. Would you like to become a self-paying patient? Slam dunk the phone. In Palestine, God empties his wine glass on the unclaimed field. The ants rush in for sugar. Beneath the rocks, lime green scorpions. Beneath the scorpions, my mother's lips. I do not kiss them. Wearing only my underwear, I pull the garbage bin to the curb. Overhead, cookie of the moon glitters. Patch of narcissus flower, hump into the hairball. Shadows of rotten stems. The cactus, too, has gone limp. Spring, a deflated balloon, I can hardly watch. Another protest in al-Fam. Whack, whack the fireworks. Hits head, the ground is thirsty, dirt kiss. Thimble the air with prayer. Hassan sends a photo of the sunset. Hundreds of Palestinian flags. Back tire on my bike goes flat. Close my eyes and tilt my gaze. I'm swayed by stillness. Outside the police station, it is quiet enough to hear the birds. Harsh hack of a grackle. Giant chirp of the cedar waxwing. The cops place hands on hips and touch their guns. A fetish. Every day, the American South splits into smaller pieces. By Christmas, we will all be confetti. Open the floodgates of heaven. Let it rain. 2 missed calls from the cancer center. Watch YouTube tutorials on how to repair a flat tire. Both my treatment team and the debt collectors are after me. I owe the first my body and the latter $1,042.91. Price of my MRI and climbing. Mockingbirds bicker in the oak trees. Grind my teeth against the electric bill. My partner orders organic coffee filters for $7.99. Oh God, extravagance. I love them for this. When I ask my mother if I can live, she says no. Rasp and trill of the mockingbird, sky wrapped in velvet, heart gilded silver. The question of death is not what, but how. Spend the day pulling glass from the dirt, clink clink in a paper bag. This yard used to be green, shout the neighbors. After the contractors, too much glass. Watch the sparrows choke on it twice. Pack and repack a suitcase, a cross, a closed border. Wrap my grandmother's bowl in underwear. Stuff bluebonnet seeds in a laundry bag. String cardamom pods and sing for home. Open, close, open the throat. The human is a porous thing, no borders but blood. Forgot to pay my toll bill, and now it's $17.78. Call the bank to set a travel notice on my card. Where are you going, sir? Asked the operator. The operator clicks at buttons and drop-down menus. I'm going to Palestine, I answer. A moment of silence. A moment of pigeons and trash ablaze. The operator clears his throat. I don't mean to step on any toes, sir, but is Palestine a country? This is the last poem I will read, and it is from my book, Dereliction. This poem is called Afterlife. Children talking with children, talking to children, talking with children. Children at a party eating cake. Children dancing. Children singing. An endless parade of children combing the street. Children never drowned, never worked, never sexualized. Children unblemished by war, children napping. Your parents reverted back to children. Your grandparents as children. Your children as children. Your siblings and cousins, all children. Your friends too, and even yourself. Everyone you've loved alive again as children. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Gabrielle. Octavia Rucker. All right, our third and final reader for tonight is Valerie Hsiung. Valerie Hsiung is a poet, interdisciplinary artist, and the author of multiple poetry and hybrid writing collections, including The Naif, Ugly Duckling Press, forthcoming 2024. The Only Name We Can Call It Now Is Not Its Only Name, Counterpath. To Love an Artist, Essay Press, selected by Renee Gladman for the 2021 Essay Press Book Prize, Outside Voices. Please, CSU, selected for the 2019 CSU Open Book Prize, You and Me Forever Action Books, and EFG Action Books. Her writing has appeared in print, in flesh, in sound waves, and other forms of particulate matter. Her work has been supported by Foundation for Contemporary Arts, PEN America, Lighthouse Works, and public streets and trails she has walked on and hummed along for years. Born in the year of the earth snake and raised by Chinese Taiwanese immigrants in Cincinnati, Ohio, she now lives in the mountains of Colorado, where she teaches as assistant professor of creative writing and poetics at Naropa's Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics. Give it up for Valerie.
She remembers two parts to the beginning of her life, sitting on the stairs, on the threshold, between calling out for company, calling out for an orange, and staying silent and still and strong, a strongness she couldn't name, a strongness that would have to reveal itself to her in other windier ways, perhaps one day as the same staircase, triumphant in its decrepitude. Did everyone else have trouble falling asleep in those days? Crawling up and down. It is possible to think without looking back. In those two-faced beginnings, when richness belonged to a future that did not exist, for if it did exist, the present would not have been so terrifying. The presence of a house of sleeping bodies would not hold so much space. In fact, if we dwell on, for example, a basket of fruit or mold growing in the bathroom or something else sweet yet caustic, time does not proceed. We have essentially erased time. On the contrary, when we fall into time, when we give in to it, which might sound innocent, but in a moment like this can function as an obliteration of dualities, we hold on to nothing, even if in the very act we know there is something to hold on to, even if we know there is something we won't ever let go of. Because, and so, it is possible to never let go of something we in fact never even once did hold. She thinks she had philosophies dug inside her since before she knew what she was doing with her settlement, that when she spoke about small transportation vehicles which floated and were guided by wind, that she was actually speaking about blindness. In the time between her first life and her second life, she founded 2 gates in her right hand. She thinks she started her life as a lie. She would imagine there was a room that emanated heat, and she would point to that closet and say, "There is a room inside that room." Because these people do not listen, they do not listen, and she forgets the empathy which grew inside her like a marvelous toad, because she has extended something called empathy inside her so far as to open her legs wide, that she must recoil, she must dot herself, she must dot her diminishing self, she must stroke, she must even dote, but she cannot do this while she is awake, because we must step away from approaching her. Today is not a day. To say today is only to help ourselves, to make ourselves feel less helpless and being unable to help her. She doesn't want. That would disgust us all. It would instigate the sheer disgust that lives within the both of us. She is stepping away from approaching herself, but in order to do so, she must come a bit closer. We must turn against the wall. So she comes closer to herself, and then she recoils. In fact, in sleeping so, on her stomach, her left knee bent and brought to the side, higher, in line with her hip, she recoils from the approach she makes towards someone in her sleep. Because there was someone pointing a finger at her, and she was always reassured by the others who watched her, tossing and turning. There's no one there, because there was someone saying something which she had to move a lot of the overgrown bush aside in order to hear. She had to comb her thick lefty to the side in order to hear, and she was good then at pushing the grocery cart further along to catch up, to meet at the end. We will leave on Saturday to go see the people you love. It was an accident which ended up attuning us to the correct strategy which would get her to trust more of us. But before they could leave for Saturday, she approached her mother while her mother was lying in bed, her body falling down to the sides. "I have to show you something. I promise. You promise what? I promise I don't know how it happened. I have to show you something. I'm worried, Mother." And for her mother, she opened up her legs. She knew even then, in the first half of her life, that the timeless part of the house was missing. The bell and the rotting wood, the pan to pick up water, the rats coming in from inside and from out, the bell and the crushed bits of Job's tears brought in between the toes. But she did not know it was the bell, the rotting wood, the pan to pick up water, the rats coming in from inside and out, the bell, the crushed bits of Job's tears. She wasn't supposed to tell herself, but she didn't turn to the people who had brought her into this world to tell herself. Instead of being timeless, this was a house that had no time. Though she knew a beautiful widow had once lived in the home and whose insanity had been the reason they came into possession of the home, the widow had been hurt by the bravery of certain people in her life, wanting to show the house to the world, taking away the forest which covered it like long hair over a greasy and embarrassed face, making it a part of a world that it may have been better left unbelonging. This was why when she sat on the steps covered in a woven fabric, she had to be the passageway for the house to face the house, for the house wanting to show itself to itself. Although in the beginning of the first life, she didn't always feel split in two. She just felt that the ground had pushed something through her and got stuck at the hinge of her mouth, so that for many years she had to hold it inside of her rather than having an open airway the way many people did. Whether she was lean and boyish or rounder and boyish, her mother would remark, look at her body without parade or glove. She said this enough that she began to look at herself. And she began to see when others looked at her. She didn't know this was each time the house trying to look at itself. Later, in the second half of her life, when people she had no relation with would seem to act like she had come from them somehow, or that they together yet separately had come from the same thing, she would stand between two sharp things, unsure what was the best way to move around, wondering how she had come through a maze of many sharp things protruding out at all different kinds of angles, how even a neglected corner could contain the sharpest kind of angle. Like there was no warning strong enough. Later, in the second half of her life, when she would be putting a hand to the first life and she would hold the math still like it was a rock on top of her head or a bucket of water, and she would watch various passengers who came and went at the crossway seek to perform surgery without cutting a knife, and she would not laugh at them, though there was laughter, like carolers all around them, like rotting wood or something itchy she knew that lived under the brown leaves, under her skin. There are conditions we live under that feel like we are being swatted at, she was told, or that make it seem like the air is warning us to move. It's not the wind, it's an external force coming toward us, and the air is our friend. Now look up. And she looked up as a plane was passing by, and she understood the phenomenon of being a passenger on the plane, a plane flying above her simultaneously as she was not a passenger, but just a person on the ground over which the plane with the passenger version of herself was passing over. She felt the dark blueness of the inside of the plane inside her, and she felt the dark blackness of the ocean inside her outside of the plane. And she saw where she was. Then she felt 1,000 beetles squirm underneath her bottom. She looked back at the house. It was only a few feet away. Was she listening? Or had she learned to pretend to make it through another day by means of food? There were things she saw in the first half of her life that she should never have reported to anyone, but she would. And this would cause 1,000 rocks to be thrown against her. Things like humans plucking the feathers off of waterfowl, like ducks, and then roasting them in the open. Things like a firecracker burning through her sister's jacket, but not leaving a single mark on hand, neck, or face. Things like that. It was hard for her then to get a match between the truth that the world told and the truth she herself told as she knew it. From this, she began to distrust anyone who held a ruler. and if not distrust, then she would preemptively laugh at them before they could accuse her. She would enter a room of people who held rulers, who were studying the game very precisely, expecting them to accuse her of something. On her way in, she was already laughing. She did not notice many things that would have been good for her acclimation to such hostile environments, but she did notice some things that life would not directly reward her for, things it would later on reward her for in ways that sometimes to other people seemed rather like a punishment, yet to her seemed like something she had only worked for. One of these things was the way people would hide their knowledge from others. They would hide knowing where someone was, perhaps because they had promised that they wouldn't tell anyone, no matter who asked where this someone was. Sometimes, even without anyone asking them to hide what they knew about where someone was, some people would still hide what they knew. This was one thing that she noticed. When a child is faced with learning the correct way to do something, for example, how to say a word, and there are competing forces in her life, one which is saying it the correct way, and the other which is striving to say it the correct way, but is repeatedly saying it incorrectly, will the child round herself out in the middle of these right and striving yet wrong ways of saying something, or will the world quickly show the child who is right and who is wrong, and the child will come to judge, laugh, and feel embarrassed for the one saying it all wrong? Running back home, catching her breath like she had been eating too much cream of late, she would tell her mother. She wouldn't tell on her. And the way she hid her face inside her mother there was like a face, like a crushed compass. Why do some people sleep under a net with a burning coil, and others bring snow inside for water? Though this was not a question that she brought into a room with a heavy door during any official visit of sorts, the person in the robe who was determined to find whether she was there to stay indefinitely or there merely to refuel, to get clean, and then to move on to some other hospitality, found themselves asking this question as though it were a mere echo of a question that had really first formed inside of the one being probed, and the person in the robe was merely only now coming into contact with it. It was no evidence of any divinity or capacity for clairvoyance of the person in the robe, but rather it made him shudder because it was the first sign that perhaps he was not one of the original cast, but rather a vessel made to interpret them. He would never repeat this to anyone else, but that day forward he would begin to hear her voice instead of his own anytime he said something out loud. Perhaps because she never believed there was nothing to flee from, never believed that it was something she inherited to stay in one place for longer than a week or two before needing to move further and further in whichever direction was oppositional to the force of entry. Friends of her mother would knock on the door and then disappear. She would open the door and there would be a cold pot of radish soup with a thin layer of fat at the top. Was she now living her second life already? In the first half of her life, she didn't know the reason for her stomach troubles or why they slowly went away, as she was forgetting the reason one has a first life to begin with at all. She stopped putting her hand in her mouth. She started treating her hands as though they had to be in a condition fair enough to touch the sick. That was how she had begun to see herself. The energy of the world has to bypass a medium, and the energy of the world wants a body with which to tire itself on. If the energy of the world is kept within an unused body, it will be like an uncovered car in a hailstorm. Then you go out in the late morning after the message has been conveyed to collect all of the eggs. Instead of climbing up the mountain, people are climbing up the new contraption in the same place where the daddy longlegs prefer to lay their eggs, the energy of the world. That's where the energy of the world gets its name from. What were her hands made for darning? What was her back made for raising? No one taught her how to walk. She can't remember doing that. She can remember the water boiling, bringing it up stiff. She can remember cutting the paper in half, making index cards, making flashcards, almost cutting her arm in half. But she can't remember who brought the wood and who brought the axe. Something warm-blooded and upright and disguised inside her wanted her legs to move, but she didn't have a path and she didn't know how. Only later, deep in her second life, would she come across, after traveling many miles on a path of view, and while traveling on this path would think of what her legs were made for, and would think of the 28 miles something warm-blooded and upright and disguised inside her had tread day after day for many years. That something warm-blooded and upright and disguised her inside her didn't long for things. It just saw what it didn't have, what it could have had, and then covered itself with a dish rag around the neck and tried to sleep. One day, her eyes might also deteriorate, from 2 cataracts becoming 1 cataract, moving closer to something so warm-blooded, a kind of movement that is possible only if you have never heard your own laugh. A laugh that something so warm-blooded will never forget. These eyes will become so degenerate. The first floor house will be taken over by all kinds of things, and some of what takes over it will crawl into the suitcase of the degenerate, and she will take this with her to the next place she goes. She never thought that this could be how a message gets passed on. The people, they carry on, which is not the same as the people all coming around the maypole. The people who carry on are the ones who pass by the town with the newly erected derrick, and they are the ones who dip the baby into the water full of dumped fuel. The dumping of fuel does become the work of clocks, as it is the most convenient thing that occurs around this town. Do we want this man to have enough to live on or more? Can it even be called one? We want this man to feel like this representation is something he can hold up like a pocket mirror. The family, they become their own enemies. Some people are tired of trying, and some people it becomes the substance of their dwelling, like collecting thatch until day is done. It is easier to believe in the world than it is to believe in one person. It is much more probable to side with the world, however faceless, than it is to side with person of one. When such a one is knocked down again and again, it is easier to blame them. If one person who does not steal or cheat is rewarded by the world with many fruits, we say they have been blessed. We have to look behind them in a pocket mirror, which they are quickly in the midst of closing, to catch, to see the river on fire. We know their face. We shouldn't know their face, anyone's. Why did she learn things so quickly? What had happened to her very early on that took away a theory of incremental learning? Who saw her small body as a problem to teach something too quickly? Wanting to be better about holding a cup midair, she thinks that whatever is inflicted upon a child must come out in an exit wound. Her mother had referred to her birth as a miracle. She never claimed to be untouched, but she was only touched once, and in that one touching was she conceived. The people who induce claustrophobia in grocery stores have one childhood photo. They're wearing a cowboy costume. Something's off. By the time her injuries had healed for the crime of wandering, she had other injuries waiting for her. Though she lived before the world, she liked to think there was a world where there was enough flour all the time in the pantry to attract the moths she had once found slipping between things, behind things, in the pantry of the church's new meeting spot. She imagined there could be a world. She was the first person to spot them. She once told one of the children, the only child who did see her, the one who she had once brought her paranoia out to play with too. Everyone stands there. Even the kids who had been chasing around a ball stands now, halted as the tent is erected over the house that is the church's new meeting spot. Everyone stands there. The people who had their arms hanging to the sides now take them and place them in their pockets. The people with hands in their pockets now take them and place them across their chests. The kid who was the first kid to blow the whistle, not in her first life, for that would be zero. That would be the rest between negative and positive. But the first kid that she blew the whistle to scratches her head and tugs on someone's arm like on a scarecrow. It's not that everyone has suddenly come out of their oblivion, but that they had to pick a day without wind to begin the process. They had, in fact, finally come out to meet their oblivion. They live there, and I live here, and you live there, and we live here. Towards the middle of her first life, she rode her bike past the house as it was beginning the process, pedaling against the wind with a weight as though she were carrying her friend on the handlebars, even though there were no handlebars and there was no wind or friend. The process was beginning. We may cut a house in half to see what's inside, but we may learn that generation by generation, there are not the same markers between. Early on, there was a mother and child who could neither be said to be boy nor girl, yet was called a boy who came to stay for a while. It was never identified what offense against the child was laid, but as these things go, the fault was laid against the mother, who was a person no one, not even she who spent the most time out of anyone inside the house, who gave them fresh bedding, who brought them trays of porridge, could give a visual format for. In one of the busiest years of the house, another broken family with 2 girls stayed in another room. She was sent with a wagon to greet them and sell them anything they might need in addition. Is there any place nearby we can get some supper? A few miles up the road, but the kitchen will be closed. A few days later, she saw the 2 girls teaching the boy wonton signs, which diligently he emulated and embodied. The girls, who were one of the few who wouldn't take trays of porridge up in the room, would run down the stairs inventing songs of war, and on their way down they would call, "Joey, Joey," who like a kangaroo hopped down after them. Under the table, she caught them, stroking Joey's knee and then laughing. She could tell that the younger of the sisters was more messed up than the older one, and it was the one who was more messed up that she also felt would end up, if she survived in the long haul, saving somebody. Something would happen. When she saw how his body had become a template, the boy's mother's facelessness was sealed. I will hide my face, so he cannot see, so he cannot see. I will hide my face, so you cannot hear him, so I cannot hear him. Eating the apple, bite by bite, bite by bite. He would sit across from me, even if you moved, even if I moved. For you have, for I have moved. And still he followed, he followed. You have changed his bedspread, his pillow sheets. You have rinsed out the bowls and cups he left. Plenty, plenty. I must give my face to the world. The world will have it. I must keep my power to myself. You will not keep it. I must. You shan't. The snake curls around my ankle. Beautiful snake. Will the world intervene? You've lost me there. Will the world intervene if I see? Will it? You will be the world. And that's what I'm doing. Look at what you've done. I will change rooms. Even if you do, I have called the wrong ones towards me. Will you keep calling then? Now I call the right ones. They will go to war with each other, each to each. Or will the wrong ones merely cower and beg? There is an opportunity there, one I do not want. And will the right ones disperse if I do not keep calling them towards me? There is a change there. What kind of war is that? One that belongs to you alone. Yes. She began to tilt her head then. She began to look slightly down again, as she had once done, and to the side. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Henry, Gabrielle, and Valerie. If you're new to the literary scene in New Orleans, we have a lot of events happening all the time. You can find out about all of them at litwire.org. As a central hub of all things literary in the city, litwire.org. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Gabrielle, for being here, for coming into town. Buy them drinks, buy their books, and make beautiful, beautiful conversation. Have a good night, everybody.